Stock music that turns out to be iconic, everyone. Welcome to the Bad Reading Podcast. I am your host, Atlas Novak, and with me today, you may remember her from our Pushing Daisies episode. It's Mia Mars.
Hello! Thanks for having me, Atlas. I always have a good time.
Welcome back. How's life?
I'm just riding that wave. I'm sick and tired of seeing other people's living rooms. I'm tired of seeing Zoom shows. I want to see their backyards. So I've been sneaking out and doing secret shows. Ooh.
I mean, I think it's okay if you do a show where it's outside and socially distanced. I did like a show in a park a few weeks ago that
Which
turned
one?
up. It was like out in the fucking boonies, like the west side of the valley. You know where the 405 quits going north and then starts going west for a while?
Yes.
It's on that part, like out in Sherman Oaks. But yeah, it was a good time. And then there was like this skateboarder who would heckle the comics because we were doing it. There was like this little set of benches carved out of stone, and if you stood at this like perfect part in the middle of this compass-looking thing on the ground, your voice would carry farther.
Really?
Yeah. So, well, because it was this kind of semicircle thing, so it would like bounce off the stone. So you would be doing your set there, but there was a path going through it. So there would be a guy on a skateboard who would be like, "You suck," and then skateboard, and then go all the way around the park, and then come back around to make fun of the next comic, or if the person was still there. It was kind of funny, honestly. Like by the fourth or fifth time, we're like, "Why are you still here?" Like, go home.
Go home, I'm done.
Yeah, you done any like fun secret shows like that?
Pete Getty's backyard is pretty awesome.
Ooh.
It's in Santa Monica. If you remember where the Arsenal is on Bundy and Pico, it's about 2 blocks north on the corner of Bundy and Tennessee. X marks the spot.
That's like half a mile from my mom's house.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So-
now you have no excuse to come over.
You mean,
Or at 5:30, but you can't not show up earlier.
wait, you can't not show up earlier?
You cannot show up earlier than 5:30
Oh, you have to show up like exactly on time.
or after.
Gotcha.
Just don't be early.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it's L.A. Who in their right mind is early to stuff?
Jews.
What?
Oh, Jews love being early.
Oh man. Wait, is that why I'm early to stuff? Fuck. My family was always late to stuff growing up, so I was like, can we just like go and be there on time? My mom was one of those people who's like, yeah, we're 2 exits away. I'm like, Mom, you're in the bathtub.
Oh, God,
You know.
she's one of those liars.
Yeah, she was one of those. So, like, as an adult, I'm constantly early or on time. Or I'll do that thing where I'll get there early and then sit in my car until exactly the right time. And
I
then...
do that, too. Dick around on your phone. Check
Yeah.
up text.
Exactly. Anyway, so, this, inspired by the meme that, we flipped Pennsylvania at the last minute, which, gave Joe Biden the election. Congrats to him. We're doing It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as...
You know, all of that is free music. They save so much money using only free music.
Yeah, because it was like stock music, and then they just drove around Philadelphia with a video camera.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But except now that song is like so tied to it, you can't... do they like get rights to it because now it's used as a theme song? And then it stopped being stock music, or does it continue to be stock music?
I think it's still stock music.
That's so funny.
The other one is ching 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 doo 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 with the bike rings doo doo doo.
Oh yeah.
Doo 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 doo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really popular stock music too.
All right, so this here fan fiction that I found on fanfiction.net, it is called Gang of Thrones. It is by someone named Semi-Feral Cat Lady. So,
Oy vey.
yeah.
I need weed for this already.
You're smoking out of a light bulb?
It's a light bulb cheap bulb.
Oh.
Or light bulb pipe.
I thought you, like, went through the painstaking process to, like, turn a light bulb into a pipe. I was like, just...
That's what crackheads do.
Make it out of an apple or something. I thought you could do that. I don't know. Also, I don't know if I can put that particular part on YouTube. I feel like we'll get...
Okay.
It'll get struck down. I'll just put, like, a big, like, blank thing, like, smoking or something. I don't know. Alright, so what starts out as a simple out-of-court settlement against the owners of Paddy's Pub results in the changing of hands of the bar and throws the lives of all of its former owners into chaos. After backroom deals are made and some delusional ideations are factored in, the feud between the Reynolds and the McPoyles evolves into an adventure of epic proportions. Alright, so link in the show notes to give the artist credit. You heard it all. Alright, so Chapter 1, The Gang Loses Paddy's. Tuesday, 10:45 a.m.
Yay!
So Frank, you're saying you're incontinent? Dennis squinted at the bald, fat little man who raised him. He had known...
Already a good story. Not a terrible writer. Let's keep going.
Okay. He had known for years that his father was falling into decrepitude, but wasn't prepared for this kind of disgusting bombshell. Frank let out a sigh. He wagged one of his short, greasy fingers in Dennis's direction. "Nuh-uh, I ain't incontinent. I can hold my piss," Frank corrected. "Well then, why have you decided to have Charlie start buying you Depends?" Dennis insisted. At this point, his sister Deandra had begun to follow the conversation, and was intently looking for an answer from Frank. Frank took notice, but refused to acknowledge her silent participation. "I sent Charlie to grab me some Depends, so I don't gotta slow down in my drinking," Frank informed Dennis. "Frank, if you're voluntarily wearing diapers, maybe it's time to slow down." That's D.
I know Dee and Dennis. They're twins. I hate when people name their twins like the same. I think it's cute, but at the same time, sometimes if their names are too similar, I'm going to confuse them even if I know the difference.
Like Jeff and Justin or something like that? Or
Yeah. Tia and Mia or some bullshit like that. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Wait, do you have a twin named Tia? Is that a thing?
No.
No.
No, I just... Mia rhymes with fucking everything. Gia, Priya, gonorrhea.
Yeah. Atlas rhymes with fatless, assless. Yeah.
There's not a lot of Atlases in the world.
No, there's not, because I killed the rest of them. It's like Highlander. There can only be one.
Moving on. So Frank is given up as an alcoholic and is now just drinking and pissing in Depends so he doesn't have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Dee chimed in from the back of the bar. "Shut up, Bert. No one's talking to you," Frank scolded his daughter. She really was insufferable. Frank was not going to have any of her bullshit. "Yeah, Dee, you aren't in this conversation. Go clean the tables or something. Do your goddamn job," Dennis added. At that, he turned his attention back to Frank. Dee silently seethed with bottled rage and resentment toward the man who she had once called father, and that self-absorbed prick of a twin brother. God damn her fate being stuck with those two all her life. "So anyways, I wear these so I don't have to stop drinking. Stop to take a piss, take a shit. I just do it in my Depends," Frank responded with a matter-of-fact tone. Neither of his children could believe what they were hearing. "Yes, but you're sitting in your own filth," Dennis bellowed in disgust. "So?" Frank completely dismissed the argument without effort or analysis. Dee and Dennis shared a look across the bar, an understanding look of mutual repulsion toward Frank. Suddenly, the door of the bar burst open. Charlie ran through, looking worried and anxious. He turned to his friends, waved his arms frantically in a familiar panicked Charlie way. You guys, this is bad. You know that one lawyer, the one who hates us?"
Yeah.
Charlie yelped. Dennis, Frank, and Dee looked at each other, then back at Charlie, and then collectively shrugged their shoulders. "No idea," Dennis blurted. "But how long are you going to keep up the fact that you're buying diapers for Frank a secret?"
I feel like it wouldn't be a secret. He would just be like, "It's not a secret. You just never asked." But let's keep going. He's not a bad writer.
So far, I mean, It's Always Sunny always comes off as bad writing, even when it's good writing.
Yes, because it's just a bunch of narcissists screaming at each other and getting what they deserve.
I always play both sides, so I come out on top, or whatever the meme is. Yeah. Okay. I knew that bitch was incontinent for months now, Dee rang in, raising a snicker from her brother. Frank sneered at the two of them. I ain't incontinent, Frank snarled. His indignant protest was abruptly interrupted by Charlie's frantic squeals. You guys, forget about what's going on with Frank. It doesn't matter. We're about to lose the bar, Charlie shouted. The group suddenly stopped what they were doing and focused on Charlie. Charlie, you didn't enter our bar as a prize in, like, a dance competition, did you? Dennis scolded.
Reference.
Was that, like, a thing? I've only seen, like, a few episodes.
Yeah, one time, it's the Sweet Dee is dating a retarded person. I believe that was the episode.
It's a real nice name for an episode.
Oh, if it wasn't a dance... No, there was one where it was a dance competition. Oh, the gang danced their ass off. That was it.
That's a great name for an episode.
And one of them had to win because they accidentally put up the bar for sale instead of, like, anything from the bar.
Oh, like as like a prize?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So they had to win.
Nice.
Let's keep going. So, you've done a reference that was already mentioned in the past episode. What else we got?
God, no! Charlie, Dee pleaded. The scruffy little man shook his head furiously. No, dude, it's much worse than that. This time we're completely screwed. A familiar man wearing a gray suit entered the door suddenly, a leather briefcase in hand. His hair, short and immaculately combed. An eye patch on his left eye, a new feature. Charlie remembers that epic courtroom battle. Okay, that episode I remember. Apparently, so did he. He laid his briefcase on an open table. The blonde woman suddenly jumped up. Oh, wait, don't sit down, Dee shouted at the lawyer. The lawyer stopped and watched as Dee began to search the seats in the bar. She peeked over her shoulder. Trying to be discreet, she loudly whispered behind her, Charlie, where'd you put the tax stool? Dude, Dee, do not give him the tax stool, Charlie angrily responded. Come on, it'll be funny, Dee retorted. The lawyer, having witnessed all of this, casually had a seat, snickering to himself. Oh, Reynolds family, you will never stop making it an intensely satisfying experience to give you bad news, and today really isn't your day. The room snarled at him. What do you want, you Jew lawyer? Frank snarled. The lawyer shook his head and sighed. Still using racial epithets, I see, Frank. Horrible never changes. Yeah, get off my balls, Frank pressed. I don't know what voice to use for Mac. I feel like it's all starting to sound similar. What voice do you want me to give Mac?
Well, I always thought they sounded similar as well, just in general. Why not give Mac a Trump voice? Because this is going to be the last few jokes we have with Trump for a while, huh?
Yeah. Maybe he'll, like, shit himself to death like Zachary Taylor did. That'd be nice.
I thought he was going to die of corona for sure.
Me too. I had so many memes. And then I was didn't.
Like, Trump could have used those votes that, all the COVID people died.
Yeah. I tweeted that out a few days ago. I was like, man, he really could have used 233,000 votes. They're all dead. Ayo. Mac finally entered the room from the office. He looked in curiously as he noticed everyone focusing on the lawyer and whatever was in his briefcase. Whoa, what did I miss? Why, you've come just in time, Mr. McDonald. I'm issuing the 5 of you a notice to vacate the premises. Oh, on what grounds? Frank interjected. On the grounds of an out-of-court settlement for the reparation of damages to 2 clients, Liam and Ryan McPoyle.
No, the lawyer's representing the McPoyles.
Yep. The lawyer smiled. All members of the gang began to feel panic well up, aside from Frank, who was furious. How'd you get that past me? And didn't they throw your case out? Frank argued. Ah, yes, the McPoyle wedding case. The one where I lost my eye. I didn't forget that. The lawyer glared at Charlie. You just look up straight up like a bad guy from one of those Japanese lawyer games, Charlie impulsively exclaimed. The rest of the gang snickered, whispering among themselves. The lawyer rolled his one working eye. Have you ever played any of the Phoenix Wright games?
Nope.
So, that's kind of an accurate description. There's like a character in one of those games who has a not work. That's like such a deep cut. I love it.
I'm actually quite enjoying this one. This one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm kind of bad at doing all the It's Always Sunny voices, and I wish Nick was here, but what are you gonna do? All right.
Did Nick give up?
Yeah, I think he
Fuck
did. Oh, Reynolds and Associates, how I've longed to deliver you the finishing blow, and today I think I have. The McPoyles were awarded the property of Paddy's pub for damages done in an apartment fire. Smaller shares were awarded to one Matthew Mara and one Gale, last name omitted, but main shares were awarded to Liam and Ryan McPoyle as part of a much larger multi-case settlement against you. Why would you ever want to take that case, dude? Charlie exclaimed. It's easy. It was an open and shut case, and it gave me an opportunity to finally bring my worst enemies to ruin. My God, you people have me talking like a villain in a TV show. You really do ruin people's lives. Anyway.
Oh man, I was digging it until that.
What?
Until he said you're making me talk like a villain at a TV show. Oh man.
What, you don't dig self-aware humor?
I do, but is it because he has an eye patch now? Is that why?
I think so.
Okay.
It's like that, and I think he's like I'm talking about taking someone's property from them while wearing an eye patch. Like, I can see it. You know. Let's see. Anyway, I knew that you wouldn't leave of your own volition, so I arranged for a police escort. The door flung open once again. So he's like, wait, okay, so there's a police escort, but, like, don't come in until I give you the signal. Stay outside. You know, like, he doesn't come in with the cops. He's like, okay, on 3. 1, 2, police escort. There it is, you know. The door flung open once again with 4 large officers preceding. One in the middle stepped forward and spoke authoritatively. Will Frank Reynolds, Dennis Reynolds, DeAndre Reynolds, Ronald Mack McDonald, and Charlie Kelly please step forward? Without hesitation, the entire gang leapt to their feet and placed their hands over their heads. Accept our escort peacefully, and we will not be required to use force. Frank glowered at the lawyer as he walked toward the exit of the pub. You no good piece of shit, shyster lawyer. You're gonna regret this. Frank lunged toward the lawyer in a fit of rage, ignoring everything else. With that, the officer closest to Frank constrained him, gave him a spray of mace to the eyes. The rest of the gang hurried past Frank, who was currently being kicked by an officer that sprayed him. As they were walking out of the bar for what might be the last time, they watched as the sign from above the door was roughly handled by a coarse, gangly man. Another similar-looking shady figure stopped at the top of the ladder, affixing a new sign to the marquee area, McPoyle's Milk Bar. The balance had been thrown off of this day. South Philadelphia would never be the same. It's weird that they would replace the sign right away.
Probably. But that's how the show should end.
What, like, they lose the bar and then that's it?
They lose the bar and they go to trial, and then every single person, like Rickety Cricket, comes to the stand and, like, testifies against them.
That was literally the Seinfeld finale.
I know. Unfortunately.
So you would want that to happen for It's Always Sunny?
Yes, but I forgot that was the Seinfeld finale.
That would be, like, very It's Always Sunny of them to just do that, and the entire time they're like, this is like the Seinfeld finale. And then just keep going.
I don't see why not. How are they going to end Sunny? How do you think?
I don't know. It's been, like, what, 15 seasons, 15 years-ish at this point?
Damn.
Yeah. Because it started in, like, the mid-2000s, right?
I think so. I remember it being such a cheap, like, show.
Yeah. That's probably what's kept them on this whole time, is that, like, it's so much bang for your buck. Like, you're getting all these ratings for, like, $6 and a beer to produce the show.
$6 and a beer. Wow, they get money? We don't.
I mean, what, you and I don't get money? Yeah, of course.
No, we don't get shit.
Yeah, patreon.com/badratingpod. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, it's, I don't know how they would end it, but whatever it is, it's got to be so ridiculous that it, like, the thing with finales is, even if you're like, okay, this is completely meta, it's still got to be a little satisfying, which is kind of what made the Seinfeld finale so annoying, is because, like, you kind of want to see what happens to them after they get out of jail, which is, like, that's not a fun finale. You're just kind of stuck with it. Yeah.
But then they could have a spin-off of the gang goes to jail.
I mean, they've all gotten arrested at least once, right? For
Have
different things.
They've definitely been sued.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it's the kind of thing where, like, you find it on IMDb trivia. All of the characters have been arrested for something at least once, or I don't know. I could see that.
Honestly, I can too. I feel like some nerd out there knows the answers.
There are nerds for everything.
There are nerds for fucking everything, dude. It officially doesn't surprise me anymore.
It's like Rule 34, but for nerds. So it's probably like Rule, 33.333 or something. At the bar, the police officer continued to beat on Frank as the lawyer watched, satisfied, from one of the bar tables. Liam and Ryan McPoyle entered the bar, followed by their sister Margaret. Frank reached out his hand toward the new owner of the bar. "Liam, it's me, Frank. We can make a deal." Frank gravelled beneath the layers of tear gas and asthma, brought on by the beatings of the officer. Wow, ACAB, good on the story for, like, just fucking ripping on the police. Defund the police. The Sandy...
I'm so sorry if you heard that beep. That was my next door neighbor texting me to say, "Hey Mia, did you lose a black hairband?"
Did you lose a black hairband?
If he means one of these, like, black hairbands,
Yeah.
let it go. Let it go. If
Yeah.
it's a, like, cute headband, maybe.
I joined the Nextdoor app recently because I thought it was going to be, like, fun. I wanted, like, gossip about the neighborhood, but it's always like, I found a cat. Is this anybody's cat? You're like, boring.
Really? Because I live in West Hollywood, and they will give you rewards.
If you find a cat?
If you find... No, nobody cares about their cats. Gay men love their dogs, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They love their little dogs.
Oh, because, like, there's this one cat in my neighborhood who's, like, he's like a stray, but everyone just kind of has, like, a mutual respect for him, and he's like, yeah, this is the cat. He's the bro over there.
Oh, we got 3 of those in my parking lot, dude.
Yeah. They're, like, super chill. They'll like, come up and say hi to you and then be like, all right, see ya.
Oh, like, mine is... His name is Seymour.
Uh-huh.
He's been alive for at least 8 years.
Wow. That's, good on Seymour.
Right? Now, nobody remembers where Seymour came from. Seymour has outlived all the residents in the apartment building.
That's really funny. So, like somebody owned him and then left him behind, and then eventually it just... That's it? Like, he's just there forever?
Yeah, he's kind of like... Life will suck if Seymour dies. Seymour lived through Corona?
I mean, he's a cat. Do cats get corona?
I don't know, but I know they get their own little version of AIDS, little kitty AIDS.
Yeah. That honestly sounds like funnier. Feline AIDS? No, little kitty AIDS.
I'm sorry, your cat has kitty AIDS.
Kitty AIDS.
Kitty AIDS also sounds like if you have a deaf cat, you put in kitty AIDS.
What would kitty hearing aids look like? It would be like a... Is it like a cochlear implant thing where it's like the thing back here and then it goes into the one ear? Or...
Aren't most blue-eyed cats like deaf anyway? Why bother?
I have no idea. All I know is my mom's cat is like a queen, and I love her. Shout out to Sophie the cat. Alright. The sandy blonde proprietor of the bar looked down at the bloodied, puffy-faced little bald man, hyperventilating and grasping at his pant leg. He could easily dismiss him and have him arrested. But there was something he wanted from Frank. Perhaps. Liam snapped his fingers at the officer and pointed his finger at Frank Reynolds' portly little frame. "This one stays, officer, by request of the new owner," Liam exclaimed. The officer took a moment to pause and looked at the strange man making a request. He noticed the lawyer from the corner of his eye motioning toward the bar's owner to abort whatever plan he was brewing. Clearly, he thought it wasn't worth it. The officer looked at Liam one more time just to determine if he was being serious or not. Reluctantly, he accepted this as a legitimate request. "All right," the officer shouted, reaching down to punch Frank in the face. But I'm going to finish beating the shit out of him first." I know this is fanfic, and it's the Always Sunny verse where everyone is like a complete douchebag. But like, I could very easily see like a real police officer saying this exact dialogue.
Oh, what if they then what if they sue the police of Philadelphia? And that's how that's just how the whole show ends. They sue the police, and they get money, and they live rich.
Have they been rich for longer than 8 seconds? Ever?
They have had so many schemes to get rich. They kind of remind me of Ed, Edd and Eddy with their Jawbreakers.
Yeah. Oh man, that's like... Dude, I kind of wish I found like an It's Always Sunny Ed, Edd and Eddy crossover. That would have been interesting.
Ooh, that's the next one. Ed, Edd and Eddy.
I mean... Oh, like the next time you come on, do Ed, Edd and Eddy.
This is actually not a bad fan fiction.
Yeah, I mean, not all the stories we read on here are bad. It's just like... I read them badly, / it's just kind of fun to riff off of.
That's true. Who wrote this again?
The name of the...
Like some cat lady.
Semi-feral cat lady.
Now, is she semi-feral, or are the cats semi-feral? Like the ones that live in our parking lots, you know?
Oh, like the cats that she... I assume she herself is feral, maybe? I'm not sure.
You know, there's a lot of kids that sometimes end up being raised by wolves, you know? Mm-hmm. Feral children.
Yeah. So what, you think they would be raised by cats?
No! Cats don't give a shit.
I heard like a news story about a guy who was lost in like while climbing a mountain, and this cat led him down the mountain. So whenever the hiker would stop, the cat would like come back and like check on him. And then when they got to the bottom of the mountain, the cat just left. So I just imagine like, you're stuck up here. Come on, idiot! I'll show you down. And then at the bottom, he's like, "Hey, that was like, we really bonded up there on the mountain. You want to be my pet? Nah, fuck you. I got cat stuff. See ya."
I've got cat stuff. Yeah, cats would not like let you into their domain. Mm-hmm. Dogs. What else? Wolves. Goats.
Chickens? Maybe? If playing the Legend of Zelda games is any evidence.
I bet you there's been a child that has been raised by, like, a parrot, right? Some neglectful child was just given a parrot as, like, company.
Yeah. I mean, I know the story about Andrew Jackson's parrot having to be taken out of his funeral because it wouldn't stop cursing.
Yes, that's what I heard too. There's a lot of cursing parrots.
I mean, how can you not? So I'm gonna finish beating the shit out of him first. You're too late, officer. I shit myself the second that you maced me. Frantically.
Love it!
The officer scrunched his nose and backed off. Liam, the demented leader of his family, motioned his shoulders, signaling to his siblings. They snapped to attention and moved towards Frank immediately. Ryan, Margaret, get Frank cleaned off and get him back and bring him to my office. The two McPoyles seized Frank underneath each arm and dragged him away toward the bathroom. The lawyer flagged Liam down. He had only taken this miscreant's case to exact revenge on his enemies, and knew him to be a truly unsavory character. But one thing that he certainly wanted to avoid was doing any business with Frank Reynolds, the lowest of low of con men. It could ruin everything. Mr. McPoyle, as your attorney, I would like to advise you against making any future contact with Mr. Reynolds. That's enough advice from the help. Liam brusquely dismissed the lawyer, much to his dismay, disappearing into his newly acquired office. Within a matter of minutes, Frank was fixed up by Ryan and Margaret McPoyle to an extent that the short, hairy man had never expected. The two changed his soiled depends, wiped him down from top to bottom with baby wipes, dressed his wounds, even applied baby powder, and a special cologne which made him smell of fresh milk. Frank had to...
I could see the McPoyles creating the perfume, milk, and it's with PK, so it looks like milk, and it looks like it's in a little KKK product, and it just smells like rotten milk.
Maybe. I mean, I just like the idea that, like, Paddy's has, like, a family restroom, I guess, somehow. Like, yeah, we got a changing table in here for, you know, people who bring their kids in while they're drinking. Sounds like a great idea. Frank had to admit it was a lot more pleasant than anything he had expected, considering who he was dealing with. It was a bit of a shock seeing these two inbred savages work with such proficiency. He was beginning to suspect some sort of trickery, particularly on the part of the younger sister, Margaret, who seemed much keener of mind than she ever let on. Every time he attempted to read the strange, wiry girl, she would notice him looking, lick her lips, only to be reprimanded by her older brother, Brian. No, Margaret, this one's too old for you. It's gross, Ryan would scold. The girl would give her brother what appeared to be the McPoyle equivalent of the puppy dog eyes, soulless, glassy, but clearly attempting for a sad and manipulative look. This lasted for about 5 seconds, which felt like an hour. Then she licked her lips again like a lizard, apparently to the extreme arousal of her older brother, who pulled her in to join lips with her and exchange a passionate, milky kiss. So, incest? Cool. I'm
like, when are we gonna get to the incest?
We're there, baby. It's happening.
Right? It took long enough.
Frank watched in disgust and bewilderment, but he couldn't voice his discomfort and blow any shot he had at doing business. These were, after all, part of the new management. He had to blend in. Not that it would be a problem. They even provided him with a spare set of clothes in his size, in the style that the McPoyles preferred as a family. Vintage. It looked and felt like a bit of leftover wardrobe from the filming of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Regardless, he was fixed up. He felt fresh, even a little bit pampered, by these bizarre creatures. Why? Because they use the word pampered?
Depends.
Yeah. He could only imagine what their ultimate design was. At the moment, he did not care about that. All that mattered to him was getting some semblance of his old life back. He made his way to the office in what used to be Paddy's back room, followed closely by Ryan and Margaret. Sitting dead center of the room, in what used to be Frank's revolving chair, sat Liam McPoyle. the de facto leader of this generation of McPoyles. His shaggy, sandy blonde hair swept over the top of his forehead, framing his lightly stubbled oval face. The flesh-colored eye patch with the drawn-on eye that had become Liam's signature sat on his right eye. This was always off-putting to Frank, and he did all that he could, not to stare at this feature. His best attempts were mostly worthless, and resulted in him staring more obviously. Liam noticed, but decided to ignore it. Now then, Mr. Reynolds, what can we do for you?
There are now 2 people in this building with eye patches.
Yes.
I love it.
Now, one of them has the eye drawn on, and the other is just the eye patch. And that's it. Alright, now then, Mr. Reynolds, what can we do for each other? Liam stated in his usual dismissive fashion. Look, I ain't asking for much here. I just want my old job back, okay? I'll help you run the bar. You don't have to do much. You get all my experience and business know-how, Frank stated. Well, McPoyles are perfectly capable of running a business, Franklin. We already built our own chain of drive-through dairies across Philly, for example, and we've cornered the local video rental market. You mean that dying field? Terrible business sense. You need a pro, Frank piped in. Liam looked bored and annoyed at this point. His McPoyle entourage was beginning to eye Frank aggressively. Let's cut to the chase here, Franklin, so as not to waste either of our time. What do you have that I want? Other than the fact that I've run numerous multi-million-dollar companies successfully over the course of my life, what the hell could you be interested in? I want your...
Sorry, everybody and their mother is hitting me up right now. How do I get them to shut up?
Turn your phone on silent?
Yeah, but it's also through my computer.
Oh, yeah.
So, how do I do this? I lift up and go, do not disturb. How do I find that on this stupid new,
Is it is it an iPhone or a
new update? So
part of me wants to leave this part in, just be like, yeah, that's right. You get to hear the do not disturb part of the podcast.
Say, please reread the paragraph, because I was looking all over my computer trying to find out how to make everyone shut up. My neighbor texted, "Hey, did you lose a headband? Why are you texting me this?"
I don't know. Maybe he really wanted to see where you needed a headband. 36 to 37. Okay.
Yes, I really needed that headband. Also, his ex-girlfriend's shit. It's been outside forever. It's starting to rain.
What? Oh, like her stuff.
Just her shit.
Yeah. That's,
She said she'd pick it up. She never did.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You mean that dying field? Terrible business sense. You need a pro, Frank piped in. Liam looked bored and annoyed at this point. His entire McPoyle entourage was beginning to eye Frank aggressively. Let's cut to the chase here, Franklin, so as not to waste either of our time. What do you have that I want? Other than the fact that I've run numerous multi-million-dollar companies successfully over the course of my life, what the hell could you be interested in? I want your children, Franklin.
Like Frank.
What?
That doesn't sound like Frank.
What, the kind of like the growl? Or
I've had multi-million dollars.
Oh, that part.
You're doing your best. I'm not going to insult you.
I mean, he's probably just bluffing, right? They lie all the time. It's always sunny. All right, I want your children, Frank. Sell me Dennis and Deandra. Liam finally shouted in his signature insane style. Frank gave Liam a puzzled look. You want me to sell you my kids? Frank said, baffled. Liam flashed a strange, sinister smile reflected by his 2 siblings, who were currently standing behind him. It's very common practice in my family. In fact, I have hundreds of contracts already written up for such occasions. It's much more common than you think, Franklin. Liam smirked twistedly. He handed over a strange contract from across the table, which Frank began to look over. The document looked slightly yellowed, and appeared to have been written on an old typewriter years before. At the bottom, he noticed that it was dated to 2007. It looked like the family had been sitting on this idea for a while now. All right, deal. You want Dee and Dennis? You can have them. Bang them. Make them bang each other. I don't give a shit. They're not even my kids. And Charles, too. His name's in the contract, Liam insisted. Frank shook his head. No, you can't have Charlie. Then the deal's off, Liam shouted in a shrill voice. This contract was written more than 10 years ago. I'm not getting the Deandra and Dennis of back then. At this point, most of their best years are behind them. You have nothing to negotiate with. He continues. They're talking about them like they're baseball players or something. Their best years are behind them. Their OBP is in the toilet. They can't hit. They can't throw anymore. All right.
They never did have kids, did they?
I don't think they did, no. Why, was that like an aim for them?
I don't know. You'd think one of them would have accidentally knocked somebody out.
You would think, right?
Yeah, I know Sweet Dee was like a surrogate mom, that's the cover, but...
Or wasn't there like a thing where she there's a pregnancy scare or something?
Oh yeah, they thought that one of the three was the father, and then they thought, surprise, it might have been Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Incest, yay.
Incest, and the McCoyles were at the... McCoyles were at the Halloween party that you might have been conceived at, and they liked that. They always lick their lips really creepy whenever they're turned on.
That's for the YouTube people.
Yep.
All right. So you have nothing to negotiate with. He continued to rant. Frank waved his hands in front of him, attempting to make peace. All right, you can have Charlie too. Jesus Christ. Frank gave the contract one last look, signed his name, and dated the bottom. Then we have a deal. Bump it, Liam McPoyle extended his fist. Frank shook his head, but reluctantly fist-bumped the grotesque man. Welcome on board, Franklin. Your first job as general manager of McPoyle's Milk Bar. Bring me your children! A thunderclap rang dramatically from outside as if cued by the very nature of this unholy alliance. Frank shuddered a bit, but now was not the time for regrets. He had managed to salvage his livelihood by the skin of his teeth, and even then, only thanks to a bizarre and probably perverted fascination that this freak show had with his kids. It made literally no sense to Frank, but he wasn't about to argue or rescind. He had laid his last good hand on the table, and he had refused to squander this opportunity. He would need help, though. All right, I'll get you Dennis and Dee, and Charles, and Charlie, I'll get him too. But I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. I'll need help, Frank insisted. Let me go over to the bridge on 5th and Cedar. We gotta meet a guy. Are you referring to Matthew? Because he works for me now, Liam stated without emotion. You got cricket working for you? I am a river to my people, Franklin. Matthew should be down in the basement. And that is the end of the first chapter.
There's chapters?
Chapters, yes. There's 3 total. We're not going to be able to get through all 3.
Nope.
But how do you like it so far?
This isn't terribly written. This is actually quite interesting.
Yeah. He sold his children.
Yeah. I don't put it past. And are we going to find out that Charlie is indeed one of Frank's kids?
I mean, I literally found this 10 minutes before we started, so...
I know, but
yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Yeah. I think we can get through the second chapter if we're quick about it.
Dude, everybody's hitting me up. I want to give you a better show if we're going to do a second chapter, but I'm glad that we got to do the extra. Horns are blowing because Biden won.
Yeah.
Leaf blower outside.
I literally can't hear any of that at all.
Oh, it's giving me I'm cold. I'm going to go too.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Mia.
Thank you for having me. It's always...
Yeah.
I miss you, man.
I miss you too. About it. Where can people find you on social media?
They can find me at Mia fucking Mars on Instagram and on Stereo app.
The hell's Stereo app?
It's a new app where people can listen to engaging conversations, kind of like chat roulette.
Oh, I remember chat roulette.
Emojis.
Weird.
And people can overhear you.
That's very odd. So, Mia fucking Mars on Instagram or, give me the name one more time, sorry.
Mia fucking Mars on Instagram and Stereo app.
Stereo app. Okay, I gotta find the link for that. That'll be in the show notes. You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or you can find the show at Bad Reading Pod in the same places. Thanks everybody for listening. Wash your fucking hands.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands and wear a mask and have a good night.